What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, continuing my breakdown of the TFW 2005 and Hasbro interview that went on a couple weeks ago at San Diego Comic-Con. I've got a few topics that I want to discuss in depth with you guys here on the channel. So sit on back, grab a snack, and listen to me ramble. First question and answer that I want to cover here is, and I quote, so TFW asks Hasbro, so with the refresh of the branding on some of the boxes, like going from SS86 to Transformers the movie, is there anything you feel is more flexible to do with this change, like being able to do a new version of the Seekers? Evan from Hasbro answers with, yeah, essentially that was because we had only done Starscream before and we had not done Thundercracker and Skywarp and SS86, which felt like a crime, but at some point we do think we have reached the point where some figures have existed long enough that it was okay to go back and redo them. Also, we no longer number our items in Studio Series, so that also gives us more incentive to kind of go back and redo some ones. Also, fans have requested different versions of them and updated versions, so we do think it's okay to kind of go back and do new molds of these characters. Okay, so a little bit to unpack here. With the whole numbering thing going away as like a little reason and excuse here to redo characters and stuff, that's kind of odd. Like, why should numbering matter? I mean, if a character needs to be redone, like, just redo it and people will buy it till the cows come home and it'll sell out everywhere and Hasbro got money. And, you know, us nerds, we got our nice plastic that's improved over the last version. It's pretty simple, but I don't know, whatever. But the whole thing here about redoing the Seekers that we just got a few years ago is really interesting because it kind of bridges a line between what gets redone, how soon, and whenever, you know? And this could set the precedent going forward with how figures get redone and how characters get redos within Hasbro generations. So I'm open to what they have in store in terms of retreading characters, maybe improving on releases. And, you know, that Seeker mold definitely looks a lot better than that Earthrise one. So I'm open to what they got going on here going forward. Next up here, so TFW asks, if there was something that only in Japanese continuity that you would love to bring over, what would that be? And Nate from Hasbro answers with, oh, I think Garry is one that comes up a lot. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, there's so many different options in what we could do with the big convoy mold. And now that the designers have done such an incredible job of going into the Japanese continuity, G1, even beyond that, we have so many more molds to play around with, whether those are partials or whether those are redecos or, of course, all newly tooled. So really excited about what they're going to do for the next couple years because we'll continue to tap into those. And obviously with Lao Kaiser right behind me, seeing so much demand, seeing how much demand there are for these figures, I think Garry is one that definitely appeals to me, but definitely going to be doing some more. Alright, so this is a good answer here from my guy Nate. I'm liking what is being said here. There's so much untapped freaking potential with the Japanese characters in continuity of Transformers. Whether it's G1, different mangas or something, Unicron trilogy, you name it. There is interesting repaints and new characters that you can bring in that would be really cool to see. And Nate specifically singling out Garry here is really good to see because, you know, they're doing Star Convoy. They have had talks about doing Garry and Grandis to go along with him over the last few months since Star Convoy's been released. So I definitely do think in the next few years we're probably going to see follow-up releases to the Star Optimus Prime Titan class figure. We're going to get that Garry, Grandis, probably some other characters from Japanese G1, Diatlas, and so on. So it's going to be really exciting to see. Hopefully some of these characters aren't locked behind a crappy HasLab like Death Source and Victory Saber, the main two, or one of the main two leading characters in Japanese G1, which is kind of insane to me, but we're going to have to wait and see. But the main thing to take away here is that Nate is singling out Sky Garry, and it seems like they really, or at least he wants to really do him at some point soon. So I'd say in the next few years, it's definitely possible we're going to get a Sky Garry. And the next question and answer I want to cover here is, so TFW asks, there have also been some late entry Japanese G1 designs, like some of the ones that haven't been in cartoons, but only comics. Are those a possibility? Nate answers, yeah, every single thing is on the table essentially. I think probably the only ones that we're not actively looking at right now are Skids and Mudflap, and we've talked about on the fan stream, it's just not the right time yet. And hopefully we get to them eventually, but everything's on the table, and the fans continue to prove out the love for everything Transformers, every single bit of content. Obviously some perform better than others, so we're not going to go as deep in certain pieces of content for now. That certainly can change. I love what Evan did with War for Cybertron. I love to take a look at Fall of Cybertron with the 15th anniversary coming up in 2027. I love Devastation personally, so we've taken a look at some of those. Getting an all-new scale with Optimus at Deluxe. Eventually, we'll get to Megatron and some others in there. We just did the True Builder with the Seeker and the Ground Soldier, so hopefully we're going to continue to do more of that, but everything's on the table. Quite a bit to unpack here in this answer. So first up here, Skids and Mudflap. I don't know when we're going to get these. It's something that they've started to kind of openly talk about this year over at Hasbro. So maybe in the next few years we could see them. I don't know. It's something that I've talked about the last few months. But it's just kind of odd they're avoiding these two characters. I mean, we all know why. But is it really as bad as a small community online make it out to be? I mean, if you do your research on these characters and what's involved, it's really not what some people try to make it to be, but whatever. And the other part here is not delving into certain areas of Transformers as much as others. Obviously, I'm not expecting a whole line or a whole trilogy dedicated to like Machine Wars or something. I feel like Hasbro's kind of underestimating certain things and characters that get done. I think just because they do one character from a certain iteration that they want to test the waters with, and it doesn't sell as good as a G1 character, they kind of shelve that iteration for a few years or something. That just seems like the wrong way to go. Maybe the character you chose, a lot of people from that cartoon or era just didn't really care about, and there's characters that you can't put with the one you released, so not a lot of people care to get it right now. But maybe if you keep going and you do other characters that people maybe care about more, or characters that you could put with the first one that you did, that would probably give an incentive for more people to buy those different iterations of characters that you may be on the fence about doing. And I think he's alluding to Energon and Beast Machines here. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys over at Hasbro. Instead of believing a few neckbeards online saying that Energon and Beast Machines suck just because the cartoons weren't the greatest, it doesn't mean you can only go beyond core class figures from a year ago. So I don't know what to make of this. It's kind of annoying to me. It's like, why even do a multiverse thing going forward in generations if you're kind of scared to delve into other iterations due to a preconceived notion on popularity and sales? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And looking at this now, I guarantee you why they put R80 2001 Optimus and Magnus at HasLab was probably because of what Nate said here about not delving in to certain areas of the brand more than others because of performance and money making. I feel like these suits over at Hasbro and whoever's in charge has a very wrong idea of Transformers just because G1 has been their main focus and that's a main sell for them. It's really odd to me, but I'm really open to more game stuff. It seems like they're going to be doing something potentially, maybe like a subline for Fall of Cybertron in 2027 for the 15th anniversary. That would be really cool. A lot of stuff to really delve into here. You can kind of theorize on future releases. Like, I think they would do a 15th anniversary subline in 2027 for Fall of Cybertron. Like, we don't have a lot of listings that could be in the main line for 2027, but I don't know. It's really early. It can go either way in terms of what we know. So yeah, I mean, to take away right here, Skids and Mudflap probably going to be done at some point. Other areas of the brand are going to get more love than others for a reason that makes sense, and probably for other reasons due to silly suits over at Hasbro that make absolutely no sense. And more Gamerverse stuff is coming in the next few years. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about the answers that Evan and Nate from Hasbro gave here? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.